Hello, everyone. Happy PPI initial claims, continuing claims Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Good morning, McRangers. Good morning, John. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Patrick. Oh, what's it? There you go. Good morning, Sterling. Sterling putting in the news and the shocking PPI numbers. Oh boy. I mean, between the CPI and the PPI, if the Fed's going forward with their cut next week, I mean, you have jobless claims climbing a bit. Yeah, but we're definitely been talking about this. Inflation, recession. A recession will bring down inflation at some point, but you still got rising inflation, and the PPI numbers coming in very hot today. Let's see. Good morning, Heinrich. Good morning, Martinez. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, Eric. Thanks for the news feed, Sterling. Yes, thank you. Mike, did you chart harmonics by hand? I used to chart everything by hand. I did that for years. I used to do that, especially after coming up from the floors. It really helped. It really helped get with the rhythm of the market way back in the early 90s. Good morning, Royal Palms. Yes, like for Mike. Thank you, Royal. You just remind me. It's nice to see you more active on X. Thank you, Kalani. Welcome. Just trying to do some. Hey, Coco. Good morning. Adobe was a beat, but a pretty big gap down. Sienna was a misbeat. So thank you. Remember, we got we got Costco afternoon, but let's take a look at the really important numbers. The PPI. The PPI coming in at month over month 0.4, prior 0.3. Consensus was going to drop, but it's coming in double consensus. The core came in at consensus and a little down from prior. The core PPI year over year, consensus was 3.2, this coming in at 3.4. The headline PPI year over year, consensus was 2.6, coming in at 3, up from 2.6 earlier. Those are pretty hefty numbers. PPI X food and energy and trade coming in at 3.5 year over year. So not a lot of good numbers in those PPIs from inflation going down. I think this is the highest PPI reading since, what was it, February 23? When it was on its way down, and now we're exceeding that going back up. Not good. But then you have initial jobless claims. Big pop. 220 expected. Prior was 224, coming in at 242. Continuing jobless claims coming in just slightly higher in consensus. And higher than previous. So not good numbers for the markets, but I mean, the market, we're getting a little pullback, but let's see if, I mean, the NASDAQ went on a rip your face off rally. I did put up the harmonics on X yesterday for intraday, and we'll recap those. So if you're not following me, it's at MG Arnold. No Coco. I didn't ban Coco. I told him he better be careful, though. I told him he better be careful. Because some days, you know what? I just don't want to deal with it. So, you have Adobe down after their beat 10%. Market's not too happy with their stuff. Uber's up over 3%. Consumer defensive rotation into there. Remember, we got Costco after the close, but mega caps, big reversal from yesterday. The breadth really stinks in this market. Yesterday's rally was your mega caps, just tech and mega caps just ripping everything's face off. Today, let's just refresh this. Today we got consumer defensive and utilities, so a rotation into safety, at least pre-market. Technology comm services reversing some of yesterday's move, but not a lot. The Fed watched. I mean, people are saying, well, now the Fed has to cut because the market fully is 98%. The Fed has to cut. Well, who's in charge now? the market's expectations are the Fed. The Fed should be able to do whatever they want, especially with the market at all-time highs. You can't disappoint the market. Well, all right, let's have inflation come rip our face off. Fear and greed still in neutral mode. It's really, you see the stock price strength, 52-week highs and lows. You know, you're getting lows somewhat outpacing the highs. It's not, I mean, the highs are still outpacing the lows, but the lows are, it's not great strength, and the breadth is turning back down. Schiller PE, though, nosebleed 38.86. We got Broadcom after the close. Do not ignore Broadcom, Costco, Restoration Hardware, even if you don't trade them. I peek in at that, especially with Costco. Costco, after, what did that trade at 1,000? I mean, this is just a massive. Will Trump bringing opening bell be the top of the market? It could be around the top. Grand rising, Christoph. Hope you are well. Mike is not a dictator to ban me. Well, you can get put in the timeout chair, Coco. You can get put in the timeout chair. So market's initial reaction was a little quick little spike down, but now it's starting to shrug that off too. Although with the tapping the 87.5 out yesterday, so we went through the 62.5, but we've already completed that move, and we set up a little mini potential double top. So that's the only potential bearish thing on the table right now. If we close below 6,039.75, it triggers that pattern. Okay? That, interestingly enough, would only take us back between the 50 and the 62.5 major support zone. Then if we follow through with a close though below 59.51, that would really put me in short-term pullback mode. But those are the only bearish things. By the way, I'm on Ninja Trader at 11 Eastern today on Ninja. So if you want a second helping of me, which I don't know why you would, but I am on Ninja Trader, and so I appreciate your support. At least tuning in and supporting Ninja Trader. So to the upside, we had the little reversal here. I'm going to put this on the daily chart because you can see the little gap down. So I will be looking at the opening price right around 60.87. Then I'll go back to 60.93, then 61.02, which was the high yesterday, and the harmonic. On a pullback, the pullback little short-term levels I'll be using. Little short-term levels. We've already come off from Tuesday's lows to Wednesday's highs. We've already tapped the 50% harmonic, so that's going to be key. The 60.71 and then 60.63 will be the next level. We start closing below that, then I'm really going to be focusing on yesterday's lows. So that's the downside. Why yesterday's lows? Because it's also right around the 87.5 harmonic. So, what else? Uber stock has experienced significant decline, dropping approximately 6.8 yesterday. Check out the chart. It has a very nice nicely formed daily, weekly double top from all the time high. We'll have to take a look at that. And I have to take a look. I forgot what, see, I already forgot what Royal Palms on CELH. So there's your big rip your face off yesterday. There's the harmonics I put out, the little reverse harmonics, coming up, poking just through it and settling right in that area yesterday. So we don't have a super long pausing bar, but if the market goes insane again, for the NASDAQ, the key levels I'm watching, we already traded off the 37.5 cluster, so it's around 21,645 on the downside, then 21,586 and 21,528. To the upside, I'm really paying attention to the 21,755 area. And then if we were to rally through that, it would be yesterday's highs. And by the way, if we exceed yesterday's highs, even for the rest of the week, you have the key cluster at 21,878 to 21,892. So that's my next key cluster area higher. The Dow continued to close below the rotation zone. So Dow's technically in neutral mode. So buys and sells are balanced. I will be watching. There could be a rotation in the safety at some point, so I'll be watching. We do have a potential %B buy setup for possibly tomorrow, depending on how it closes today. If this did turn around and take out yesterday's high, it would also be a %B buy. But we're coming in right at a very key support level. So from the lows on November 19th to the highs, technically did not have it on the correct high. The high on the Wednesday the 4th, the 50% harmonic is 44,084, right around today's prior low. So this is a very key support area. That's why I'll be watching for just bounce plays only. The Russell, a whole lot of nothing. Whole lot of nothing. Right now, this is more so as a horizontal channel, so I will be watching if we close above 2405. 2405 for a little horizontal channel breakout. Still trading against that 50% harmonic, though, for support. If that breaks, the next key level is 2355. VIX, again, no fear. Even with these numbers, there's just no fear in this market. Market shrugging off everything. Well, what is it? You have... What was it? What is it? Fart Coin's market cap is now greater than 38% of all American publicly traded companies. Think about that. The market cap of Fart Coin. Does that just typify the markets we're in? Shrugging off everything, insane valuations. Can it keep going? Yeah. Until it doesn't. Sound like a broken record there, but again, that's why we have the potential topping pattern in the S&P. Short-term topping pattern, it may never trigger. This thing could just keep going, but at least we have the pattern to lean on. I've had a lot of doubles play out successfully. DAX, sideways correction. EU was cutting also 25 basis points as expected. Nothing really. If it still breaks out, next target is 20,710. Notes, we're pulling back, but see, the yields were rising, climbing up, and now they're falling back again. I'm just not this is why I have to trade technical analysis. I cannot fundamentally make sense of any of these moves. I could have when we were going higher with the PPI, but now the 10 years pulling back a little after nearly hitting the 50% harmonic. We are getting closer to daily cycle tops, but the key support is now back at about 4.25. Still watching, though, for this to continue to climb. Dollar index. Yesterday confirmed the double bottom. Today might trigger it. And that's just a little mini move. A mini move. You see, completely valid on the 4-hour. So I'm going to be watching for that 4-hour close above 106.40. Okay? Going to pay attention to that. Crude, looking for a little topping area in here. Again, this is just choppy trading back and forth. There's no longer term setups just yet. Unless we get above 71.50 or start to drop below 67 on the closing basis. Natty gas looks like it's going to invalidate the double. So that's one where the rotation zone held. The rotation zone held on that one. Remember, slightly lower probabilities on those doubles against the rotation zone and never really managed closing below it. That's why we pay attention to that. Gold, close to the final target, just a pullback. I'm going to watch how it closes in relation to this 2700 area. Also remember, we're still in longer term potential correction mode for the next few weeks. So this, in the overall bigger picture, pulled back to rotation zone, but in the bigger picture, it's still, I classify this as a sideways correction. Even look at the monthly chart based off this move. So we can stay in this kind of choppy stuff for a little longer. That's why I put the targets on X the other day. And we bypassed the 2736, almost getting up to the final target area, but not yet. Silver, I posted this earlier today. We've reached the final target on the double. And obviously, it doesn't look like we're going to close above the 62.5, so that could be over in the short term, coming back to retest some major support areas, right around 31.90 to 32. But that is definitely over for the time being. Copper, look at this. Look at this. We've completed the double top, the double bottom, spiking up to that final target twice. Now we have a potential mini double top for a pullback in copper. So that was also pretty nice there. I'll get to more comments in a second. I don't want to forget about some stuff. The yen, pausing right now with cycles at the top. So it'll be interesting to see if we get a pullback in that, how much it pulls back, but nothing great there. The currencies, I'm still watching on the euro for the close back below this 104.40 area. Bitcoin, back to that 100K. Might as well trade fart coin at this point. Nothing much to talk about there. Nothing's really changed. Bitcoin. Spiders also has a potential double top. So there you go. That would need a close below 602.13. Other than that, your key little areas at this point today. Looking at 606.17 around the open, 606.86, then to the gap fill 607.46, and then I just looked for yesterday's high area. Although I would not ignore, the 607.65 area to the upside. Very key support is at 605.28 on a pullback. And the key closing on the short-term level to watch for is 604.49, because if you close back below there, you're back in the rotation zone, and I'd then watch to retest Tuesday's low area. Qs. Let me just update this. Obviously, there's no double top in the Qs. So the only thing we have are the harmonics. On a rally, we got 527.75, then roughly 529.18, then to the gap fill of 529.92. Pullback levels. Raise this too. Did that on anchor? Yep. Pullback levels, I'm looking at major support coming in about 524.80. And then the key on the closing basis is 523.45. CELH. Let's see. Can we look at this? We can. Huh. Did that play out the full double targets? Yeah, it did. Interesting. Still, from a longer term basis, you're still against the rotation zone. You still got a magnet price around 23.63 area. You've come off a little higher than that. There isn't a great strong bullish pattern yet. The only bullish thing I'd be watching for, it would have to prove itself to get back above about 36 again for anything or form a stronger pattern. This is just a little pullback flag. I'd be watching really around if it started to pull back. It'd still be in short mode for me. Very key support coming in here, not just from the harmonics, but if you see here, this area is very, very key. So I'd be watching to see if it formed a longer term pattern around there. Other than that, not much that I'd be doing with it. Uber. Uber. Huh. Take off some of these old lines. It does look like it's valid on the, yep. So, interesting chart there, but you know, let's take a look at that. Yeah, that's definitely a double. That would be really interesting if that were to trigger. But would it right now? If this really can't regain this 65, 450 to 65 level on a weekly closing basis, I would not be interested in anything from the long side. What else do we have? Such, you know, thanks. Certainly put in a ton of inflation stuff, and Richard saw a chart on the highest categories of inflation. Vehicle insurance is through the roof. The MOVE index has fallen 8.55% this week. Yeah, wow. Again, everything's priced for beyond perfection, and there is no fear. Just go trade Fartcoin. There is no fear in this market whatsoever. Whatsoever. I'm peeking back at here. I don't have much more to say today. I really don't. I'm going to just be paying very close attention to the spike lows, which are also where the rotation zone is on a daily basis, that 50% harmonic. That's the key level I'm going to be watching this morning. This 6071 area. 6071 is very, very key for me going into the open, even the first 30 minutes of trading. That's it for now. I'm going to make this one. I'm not going to go into the open because I got to do some stuff and then prep a little for NinjaTrader, get the chart set up for that. So if anybody wants to tune in, I'll probably end up talking about this double top again on Ninja. So that's what we'll be looking. Also remember, just putting this out there, besides the Fed meeting next week, we have options expiration next week. So that can get interesting. So next week, there's no time to just be complacent like the market is. But I would not be complacent in this going into the end of the season. Thank you, Anissa. Oh, you want Tesla? Tesla, which took out all-time highs. I mean, I can't even get a pausing bar here. 425 is going to be key. And then above that, I need some kind of pausing bar. So the only other thing I can do at this point is use the reverse harmonics, the big reverse harmonics. If this thing keeps marching higher, we're back in just lunacy mode. Lunacy mode. But the next key area I could do is 453. So 450. That's what the reverse harmonics are roughly saying, if it keeps moving. And then I got 492, and you've got 487, Christoph. So the next one above that would be 492. Yep. And we roll, futures roll. The futures roll again, so don't ignore that. Technically, we're rolling to March on the 17th. Okay, I shall talk to everyone. What's my X handle? It's at MG Arnold. M for Mike, G for Gordon, and then just spell it Arnold. That's where you can follow me, and I'll post. I'll try to keep posting more on there. If there's something interesting, I'm not just going to post for the sake of posting. Like I posted the silver one earlier today. You are welcome. I'll talk to everyone later. Bye for now.